we are, Phoenix DJ here with the Super Formula at Fuji Raceway, and I'm just going to give a short track guide around about how to get around here, and at the end I'm just going to do a few hot laps to see what lap times we can get. So anyways, as we exit the final corner here, it's important to get a good exit, and try not to run wide because that green curbing can really upset the car and spin you around. But anyways, going down the front straight here, we're not going to go too fast, but during the race it can be really helpful to use overtake just as you're accelerating out. But once you cross the finish line, you're going to be maxing out in about 6 gears, so using the overtake really won't help you there. But as you can see, our ghost will go away, but hopefully we'll be able to catch it up in the upcoming laps. Anyways, as we approach turn 1 here, we're going to be looking at the 2 cones, and try not to brake at the curb, that's a bit too far away, but kind of like splitting the curb and the 2 cones is a good place to brake down to 2nd gear and try to hug this area. Clipping this blue curbing can upset the car and kind of cause a bit of wheel spin. As you're exiting the corner, you can see you're not really at the best angle to the curb, so while you're turning and trying to straight line the car, you can get a lot of wheel spin and end up spinning around. So it's really important just to like be patient on the throttle on exit. Again, exiting the corner, hugging this right hand side, and here I'm just going to slow down a bit while you look at the brake markers on the fence. You can see there's a 150 board, then there's an 100 board, and there's the 2 cones. The 2 cones are basically right after the 100, but it's not like at the 75, it's probably around like the 90 or so. So I'm, for this corner, basically looking at the 100 board if you're not using cones, and like braking right after there and turning in at about the 75, right between the 50 and the 100. Just focusing on getting a high apex speed for this corner. You can carry a lot of speed through turn 2, but it's really easy because it's a blind apex. Trying not to cut it, you can get a penalty there. And then again, not running wide because the curb can upset the car, and it provides you with a bad entry for this next corner. And this next corner, while it doesn't seem that important, it really contributes a lot to how your hairpin's going to turn out. So you're going to start on the inside here, but as you see the track darkens, like basically the groove over here, so you're going to want to run wide in the middle. But what I see a lot of guys doing is they start like running in the middle, but on exit they keep that line, and then they end up way over here on the curb. And while once they're at high speed, it's really hard to come back, so they end up approaching this corner in the middle of the track, and then they have a horrible entry for this corner. And so they're either going to have to stop at apex, or they're going to turn in super late, and it's going to provide them a bad exit. And so just the way to fix that is just, if I turn the car around, there we go. Entry for the corner starts so much earlier over here. So as we go back, you can kind of see that groove widen out from the inside of the corner just to the middle. So again, entry starting in the middle, but then widening out, going back to half throttle, but most importantly, coming back inside to this cone, whether you need to tap the brake or let off the throttle even more. That way this entry, instead of at the curb, is going to be at the middle of the track. Then you're going to come back over to the right hand side and start braking at the 2 cones, down from 5th to 3rd and even up to down to 2nd. Then you're going to modulate the gas up to 3rd, but once you're in 3rd, you should be able to go straight back to full gas. Again, you're going to be hugging this right hand side. You don't want to be running the middle, you're just losing time there. So you're taking the shortest distance on the right hand side and then going all the way over to the left side, using the bridge as a braking zone. Brake like a car length or 2 after it. And most importantly, even if you have a bad entry, like super slow entry here, the most important is the line, because if you apex way too early or run wide, then your entry for this corner, again, is poor, so you have to stop and turn in. And then if you take this corner at normal speed, then you're going to just run wide and end up on this green curbing, which has no grip, very easy to spin. So very similarly to that 180, this whole section, this whole complex starts very early. And it's all just about taking a super tight apex here. So yeah, slow the car down most importantly, and then take a tight hairpin here. That way you're approach with a good entry for this corner. You can take it in 2nd, you don't want to get too much wheel spin. Yeah, take this corner, and then you can straight line this without being stuck up on that blue curb. So at this point, you're entering this. Again, it's kind of a blind apex. You can see the cone, but it's very easy to turn in too late here. You're going to be letting off around in 2nd gear or so. Off camber, it's hard to nail the apex. Then you're going to stay over to the left-hand side here, hug the curb, and then run out wide at the last moment. Get to middle, just that way you can get a wide entry for this corner. And clip the curbs, but you don't have to get that close if possible. And again, this is another corner. It's very easy because you're still turning on exit, so you got to be careful on the throttle application, just be smooth and progressive. Coming back over to the left-hand side, using this cone as a braking point. But you're not going to be running all the way over to the curb. You're going to be like a car length over to the right-hand side. And then again, be aggressive on the throttle. If you get back on the throttle too early, very easy to run wide and then get stuck up on the screen curb. The screen curb has no grip whatsoever. You're going to want to spin the car. So going wide on entry, then a late apex, being smooth on throttle, and then not running wide on exit. That way you have a good exit down the long straight. So now that we've exiting the last corner, I'll go for a few hot laps here and see what we can do. So again, smooth progression on throttle. Good place to use overtake, try to pass someone. Pass the 2 cones, split the difference, down to second, maybe first for a little more rotation, just for a little bit, up to second, smooth progression on the throttle, don't want to spin the car. Looking at the 2 cones, or like the 100 board, brake right at them, let off, turn in. Hug the apex here, then a bit go wide, let off the throttle, tap the brake a little bit, or let off, middle of the track, slowly back on the throttle, up to third, then you're full. Staying on the right-hand side of the track here. Looking at the bridge, or the 2 cones. Tight apex. Up to second, not much wheel spin, straight line. Turn in earlier than you think. Down to second, slow on the throttle. On a wide. Down to third, again slow on the gas, on acceleration. Look at the brake input here, full and then down to half and then slowly back onto the gas. Let's see what lap time we can get from that. Okay, a 24 flat. I think we can get under a 24, so let's see what we can do. Second lap. Again, a late brake, not at the curbs though, that will be a bit late. I'll stay in second this time. Back up to third. Turned in a bit late there. Better than cutting though. Again, let off. Holding this tight line. Back up to fifth, again, staying on the right side. Looking at the 2 cones for the brake marker. Tapping the brake, again, slow on the gas, not wanting to spin the car. Slow brake, down to second, slow back on the gas. Coming wide, coming back, slow on the gas. Running a bit wide there, wider than I would have liked. Exiting the final corner. Rubbing out all the gears as much as you can. And we got a 23.2, that's our optimal as well. But yeah, just the main keys here. That last sector is extremely technical, so you really just want to manage, like, hugging the, like, especially the last 2 corners. You can try to take a tight apex, but then or a tight entry, but then going wide mid corner and then coming back. But yeah, just being smooth on the brake and throttle, and I think that'll get you a good lap here. Anyways, thanks for watching, and see you guys next time.